hey, at least Jason's got a machete now.
He sure does.
And a third arm. Oh no,
Oh!
three-arm Jason.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, my name's Dan, and today's reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives, Kill Count, Recount, and we finally made it into the Zombie Jason portion of this movie franchise. And many people, including myself, consider this to be one of the best, if not the best movie in the entire Friday the 13th franchise. But before we get into it, if you haven't already, please go over and support Dead Meat. I'll leave a link to his channel, long link to the original video in the description. And I want to thank all you guys for deciding to check out this reaction. Really do appreciate it. And if you are brand new, I do encourage you to stick around, hit that subscribe button, because not only by doing so will you help me to grow my channel, but you also get access to future and past Dead Meat reactions, and it's super easy to do. First, go right below this video, give the like button some love, and click that subscribe button right there. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, released in 1986. After the negative reactions to A New Beginning, Paramount knew they needed to bring back Jason Voorhees. Frank Mancuso Jr., executive producer and series overseer, enlisted Tom McLaughlin to helm the project. He'd be the first person to write and direct a Friday the 13th film by himself. Jason Lives is often regarded as the best of the series, if not top two, alongside Joe Zito's The Final Chapter. It's the first Friday the 13th to feel like a major motion picture. Fridays 1 through 5 look cheap, which is fine, don't get me wrong. It adds to the homegrown rustic nature of the series. They exist for cool kills, that's all, and that's fine. But Tom McLaughlin came to make a capital M movie with an actual story, developed characters, and downright awesome action scenes.
Oh, so good.
After binging the first 5 films back to back, McLaughlin knew the series was in dire need of change. With an okay from Mancuso, as long as he didn't make fun of Jason, McLaughlin wrote a script full of self-aware humor that sometimes breaks the fourth wall. Kevin Williamson later told McLaughlin that this movie influenced him while writing Scream. Wanting to honor the franchise's DNA, though, McLaughlin set the film at a summer camp for the first time since Part 2, Camp Forest Green, which is really just a renamed Camp Crystal Lake. In other words, Jason's OG hunting grounds. To further differentiate his installment, McLaughlin added actual kids. The last time we saw any campers was in Part 1's cold open, and those little tykes were fast asleep. These ones are naming kick-ass YouTube channels.
What do you think? I think we're dead.
I knew that was coming.
Modern adventure is a familiar face, or a familiar name at least, since this is Part 3 of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy.
What up, Tommy?
John Shepard declined to return for the role, opting instead to pursue becoming a pastor. So Tommy was recast and is played by Tom Matthews, the actor many people think of when they picture the character. He's perfect for the tone Tom McLaughlin was going for. John Shepard was intense, but brooding and distant. Tom Matthews is animated and just the right amount of a smartass. It helps that he's got a kick-ass lady by his side too. My favorite final girl name to say, Megan. Megan. A good Friday the 13th movie and a return of Jason Voorhees are both reasons to celebrate. Could Jason murder more people as a zombie than he could as a human being? There's only one way to know. Let's get to the kills.
There's a lot.
The movie begins on a dark and smoky night, establishing a kindred spirit with old gothic Universal monster flicks. Tommy Jarvis is deinstitutionalized and dramatically driving towards the Crystal Lake Cemetery. He's got a hockey mask and some business to tend to.
Jason belongs in hell, and I'm gonna see he gets there.
He goes to the J-Man's grave with his friend Alan Hawes, played by Ron Palillo, aka Horshack from Welcome Back Kotter. Hawes don't want to be here, and he definitely don't want to welcome back Jason. Tommy doesn't either. He's here to make sure Jason's body is destroyed. He digs down into that grave and crowbars that coffin open to reveal the wormy, maggoty, near-bastard skelly body of Jason Voorhees. Yeah, it's gross. And nostalgic in a way. To ensure this decrepit crypt keeper keeps its corpse inside the crypt, Tommy stabs at the cadaver with a metal fence pole. Haha, fuck you, Jason.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jason.
Dude, right? Even the Sky's like, fuck you, Jason. Uh-oh, wait, I think the Sky done fucked up. The Sky doubles down on its mistake and brings the J-Man back to life. We are now in the era of zombie Jason. That undead son of a Pamela is pissed. After getting a fresh rain shower, washing him free of worms and maggots, Jason scores his first undead kill by butchering Hawes like a sweat hog, just punches his heart out of his back, which was kind of foreshadowed earlier.
Well, I can't take any more of this.
Hawes' body falls into the grave, and Tommy gets the heck out of Dodge, leaving Jason behind to put his face on. Jason Lives knew that the audience wanted the big man back, so Mr. Voorhees is front and center throughout this entire film. No longer is he hidden in the shadows like in parts 2 through 4. It's all Jason all the time, baby.
Hell
You
yeah.
best believe it. He's even treated like a local legend in universe.
First you take this jack of space, which is Jason. The object of the game is to find out which cabin Jason is in.
This movie is a total celebration of Jason, a cella-Jason, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the freaking James Bond entrance he gets.
Oh,
Which slaps
that's
us
my
straight
favorite.
into a title card, and what will definitely be the most fun credits of the series. Oh, come on, really? As always, the credits give us a chance to appreciate Harry Manfredini's score. For Jason Lives, he leaned into the gothic tone, although I think he wound up with a sped-up version of the Shining theme.
A little bit. Yeah, definitely different tones.
Maybe it's an intentional reference, like the bomb thing, which was done by title designer Dan Curry. Curry used a real machete to slash open a black garbage bag full of milk, then turn the white milk red in post-production
Well
to make
done.
it look like gushing blood. Tommy goes to the police station where the trigger-happy town sheriff don't take no nonsense.
Will you listen, damn it? Don't piss me off, Junior, or I will repaint this office with your brains.
This is Sheriff Garris, named after horror director Mick Garris, who I interviewed on the Crypt TV series Meetup. As a horror
Nice.
fan, Tom McLaughlin filled this film with references. Jason's brought to life by lightning in a manner similar to Frankenstein's monster. The monster's actor Boris Karloff is used for the name of a general store.
Carlos, General something.
John Carpenter gets a nearby town named after him.
The best I can do is call the station in Carpenter and have them keep a lookout for it.
And the road
Oh.
is named after Friday the 13th's creator, Sean S. Cunningham.
You could at least have Rick drive out to Cunningham Road and look for him.
Megan,
Sheriff Garris knows who Tommy Jarvis is, and also knows that grabbing a cop's gun is a crime, brother. He locks Tej up in his jail
good.
cell, though not without some sympathy.
I'm sorry about what happened to you and your folks years ago, but no one in Forest Green wants to be reminded of what that maniac did here. That's why we changed the name.
Sheriff Garris is aggressive, but he's not a one-note asshole. I like him. Tommy don't. Head counselors Darren and Lisbeth are on their way to Camp Forest Green, the renamed Camp Crystal Lake. Only one meta problem, though.
I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Darren's played by a 23-year-old Tony Goldwyn in the very first role of his successful career.
Very
We've
nice.
seen him in the Belko Experiment, but dude also voiced Tarzan.
Okay.
Lisbeth, who's driving, which I find interesting, is played by Nancy McLaughlin, director Tom McLaughlin's then wife. Jason spears their car with the fence post that inadvertently brought him back to life, so Darren decides to play tough with a secret handgun. Scary guy or not, that hockey mask don't look bulletproof. But nor is Darren's stomach spear-proof, so Jason punctures him through the midsection and tosses him over his shoulder.
Ooh, that's
See ya!
strength.
Jason then stabs at Lisbeth through the windshield, scaring her out of her car. She tries to buy Jason off, but he maybe kind of probably teleports and appears right behind her, ready to kill some more. He stabs her in the face and holds her head underwater until the air runs out.
Bye-bye.
The credit card floats away, but because they couldn't get permission to use American Express's name, McLaughlin turned it into an American Excess card as a visual joke. Through Friday the 13th recounts, you've heard all sorts of stories about dangerous and irresponsible set conditions. The
Yeah.
production of Jason Lives was thankfully nothing like that. Drugs and drinking were replaced by board games and bowling.
Aw,
It was
that's
a
fun.
familial atmosphere fostered by Tom McLaughlin and his wife Nancy, the set's so-called den mother who made sure everyone was always taken care of.
Aw.
It's perhaps ironic
That's
then
lovely.
that Nancy was the only one who experienced any danger. First, she was nearly killed when the real spear they used changed trajectory after hitting the glass windshield.
It missed me by a speck. I mean, they could only do it once. It was really scary.
Then,
Yeah.
when she had to submerge her head underwater, the diving regulator they used got clogged up with mud.
So the mud's creeping down my throat.
With producer Don Barron's breathing down their necks to get the movie done quickly, she ended up having to just hold her breath for the shot.
We were fortunate that nothing ever bad happened through the entire, shoot. No one got hurt. No one, was traumatized by anything.
The next morning, the other counselors from Camp Forest Green tell Sheriff Garris that Darren and Lisbeth are MIA. Tommy butts in and says Jason probably got him, catching the horned-up attention of the sheriff's daughter, Megan.
Don't beat him up too bad, Dad. He's kind of cute.
Or, you know, don't beat him up at all. Megan's
Oh.
played by a 21-year-old Jennifer Cook, who by this point had already starred in the sci-fi show V. She and her friends head back to camp, where she suggests that maybe Tommy's right. Perhaps Jason is real, not just a legend like their parents say.
What if he did come back here? Looking for the camp counselor that caused him to drown as a boy.
Oh.
Searching for the one that decapitated his vengeful mother.
Once again, the Friday timeline doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
This movie takes place a year after A New Beginning, I think, meaning 5 or 6 years after the events of parts 2 through 4. That's not enough time for these kids to forget that Jason was actually real, or that Forest Green used to be called Crystal Lake. But whatever, no time to deal with that nonsense.
It's fine.
Because a bus full of bedwetters just opened its door and spilled them into the laps of these camp counselors.
Think I'd rather deal with old Jason.
Inventive or not, a Friday film needs a scene with randos getting killed. And our
Sure.
first group of randos in Jason Lives are people paintballing as part of a corporate teamwork outing. Really fun characters here, played by actors Tom McLaughlin met in a mime class. That explains why one of them, Roy, is basically a real-life cartoon character. Just add
He's
sound
great.
effects. There's also a pair of dudes named Stan and Larry, who, much like those Part 5 greasers, I think are secret boyfriends.
You become this whole other person when we're out here, Stan. I don't like it.
Stan's
Maybe.
played by Matthew Faison, who would later be a deranged teacher in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. The last dude here is a hilariously over-the-top misogynist named Bert.
She should have stayed in the kitchen where she belongs.
He's pissed because he got shot and eliminated by co-worker Katie, who also paintballs Stan and Larry. Honestly, Jason Lives is low-key feminist, and high-key self-aware with those headbands that say dead on them. The first one to really die is the testy testosteronator Bert. While hacking trees angrily with a machete, Jason grabs his arm. He hurtles his face into a tree, leaving a smiley face behind. Or maybe just leaving blood on a smiley face that was already there. It's corny either way, okay?
Yes.
But hey, at least Jason's got a machete now.
He sure does.
And a third arm. Oh no!
Oh!
Three-arm Jason!
Oh my God!
Just kidding. Jason only needs one arm to score a triple decapitation with a single machete swipe. Originally, this kill was a bit more graphic thanks to effects artist Jim Gill. He created a mechanism that would buckle the knees of 3 headless dummies on cue. But this and many other kills were cut down because of the MPAA, who continued to come after the Friday series hard.
Anytime you're doing a Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, they walk into it preconceived notion.
Big disappointment
Sure.
for all the talented makeup artists, including Brian Wade, who designed Zombie Jason's appearance in the beginning, and one of my favorite underappreciated makeup artists, Gabe Bartalos, who later designed that little shit Leppy boy.
Oh,
this
nice.
paintball scene was the first thing filmed during production, with Jason played by stunt performer Dan Bradley. After only 2 days of shooting, McLaughlin was told by the studio to replace him, apparently because Bradley looked too big in the footage. I find that hilarious in retrospect, since nowadays, y'all commenters can't stop talking about his cake. McLaughlin hired CJ Graham as a replacement, who's Jason in every other scene of the film. As for Dan Bradley, he ended up being a prolific stunt coordinator. His work on the first 3 Bourne films probably would have earned him an Oscar if the Academy had, any respect for stunts. Sheriff Garris and his deputies
That's a shot.
try to escort Tommy out of town, but the Tiegemeister turns off into the cemetery and kicks off a police chase through the grounds. I love the way this is shot, especially the really long take with a really long lens. Jason Lives was filmed over 6 weeks in early 1986 around Covington, Georgia, a small town 35 miles from Atlanta. To keep production under the radar, it was filmed under a code name.
Frank was a huge fan of David Bowie, so the actual title of the movie at that time that we were hiding under was Aladdin Sane.
Ah!
Into the sort of the mystery of people trying to find out where it was and what was the title.
That's why you can see the Aladdin Sane album in a cabin. Production mostly stayed at Camp Daniel Morgan, where they filmed Camp Forest Green, or hung out at the local Waffle House, the most exciting place around. They got permission to shoot this scene at the Old Madison Cemetery, as long as they stayed away from the graves, which is why Tommy sticks to the place's paths. For the more action-oriented cemetery scenes, they used movie magic. The entrance the cars drive through was a fake one built by production, and the opening scene with Jason's resurrection was filmed on a set made from scratch on an empty field by production designer Joseph T. Garrity. Tommy wants to show Sheriff Garris that he dug up Jason Voorhees, but the grave is nice and tidy now, thanks to Martin the Gravedigger. Martin, this film's harbinger of doom, was shown earlier directly criticizing the audience for loving horror movies.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
He continues his near self-awareness with an editing joke here.
Dig him up. Does he think I'm a farthead?
and concludes his hat trick of winking to the audience when he foreshadows his own death that night.
Darling, you're gonna be the death of me.
Jason catches his pint bottle and makes it the death of him.
Fantastic
by
catch.
using it to stab Martin in the throat. Jason's double tapping is stumbled upon by another rando named Steven. He was here proposing to his gal Annette, but now Jason has another proposition for them.
Death.
He kills them by
Lots of
stabbing them
death.
together with his
Oh.
machete. The sequence with these 3 kills was filmed during 2 days of reshoots in Griffith Park. It was ordered by Frank Mancuso to increase the movie's body count, and while it messes up the pacing a bit, at least it gives us the scary shot of when Jason notices Steven watching him. Back at Camp Forest Green, the campers are fast asleep, some with half-written letters to home, others with half-read French existential plays. Everything is so chill, one of the counselors sneaks away in a Winnebago. It's the male counselor, Court, pumping away in a PG-13 style sex scene, since this is the only Friday film without any nudity. He's having girl-on-top sex with Nikki, played by Darcy DeMoss,
While dancing.
who, remember, was gonna be Tina in part 5 before she turned down the scummy director asking her out on a date.
The next day, I didn't have a part. And the excuse was that I wasn't well enough endowed.
DeMoss was brought back, thankfully, by casting directors Fern Champion and Pamela Basker, low-key MVPs of the franchise since they casted parts 4, 5, and 6, meaning they gave us Crispin Glover, Corey Feldman, and all the delightful character actors
Hell
in
yeah.
the beginning. Prior to this, Darcy DeMoss had appeared in several of Ron Harris's Aerobicize videos, but I don't think she was in the one Coroner Axel watched in the final chapter. Anyway, if the RV is a rockin', you know Jason's gonna come a knockin', and he winds up aboard before they start driving back to camp. Court hauls ass and blasts Teenage Frankenstein, one of 3 Alice Cooper songs featured in this movie.
Love me some
Another
Alice
is
Cooper.
He's Back, the man behind the mask, the closest thing Jason ever had to a theme song.
The man behind the mask.
J-Man's all over the music video for it, which was directed by the final chapter's director, Joseph Zito. The loud music keeps Court oblivious when Jason grabs Nikki and abducts her into the bathroom. He kills her by shoving her face through the wall.
Ooh,
But
so
hey,
brutal.
Now we can make giant Nikki face cookies. Jason kills Court quickly thereafter by stabbing him in the head with a knife. The
What's funny about that little part there is as he's like driving that little trailer away, he's gotta like do like a weird like a little 3-point turn sort of thing to sort of like to turn around the whole trailer. And this girl is just like flying all over the place, and I'm just sort of picturing, because Jason's sitting in the stall, I'd sort of picture him just flying around like this. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Scary Movie.
driver's death causes
You know
a
what I mean.
magnificent accident and flips the RV onto its side. This was the last thing filmed for the movie, since Jason actor CJ Graham had to pop out and stand atop a burning vehicle. Though it looks badass, it could have
does.
gone very wrong, so might as well film everything else beforehand.
Sure.
The stunt was also used by McLaughlin to get back at Don Behrens, the producer who kept rushing him to get everything done quickly. Behrens had been promised a bonus if he made sure the movie was completed on time, and tried to give himself an extra bonus by claiming an RV air conditioner unit for himself. He had this expensive swamp cooler set aside, but the frustrated crew put it back atop the RV before this crash.
The first thing to fly off with that swamp cooler, you know.
And as it exploded, the cheers that went off and the excitement over, we got him.
Sheriff Garris has deposited Tommy outside Forest Green city limits, but that night he finds Darren and Elizabeth's bodies, followed by what's left of that paintballer Roy. Roy was last seen fleeing from Jason in the paintball sequence,
Poor
and
Roy.
the only parts of him Jason left behind are some limbs and a bloody pair of eyeglasses. Sheriff Garris tells Deputy Rick Colon that he believes Tommy Jarvis is their killer.
Our boy sure wants us to believe his story.
Well, he picked the right day to pull this shit.
What do you mean?
Happy Friday the 13th.
Oh, he
Jason
said it!
finally returns to the camp once known as Crystal Lake and saunters in, the walking embodiment of sportsmanship and self-reliance. That's bad news for Counselor Sissy, who's sitting in bed with what I can only presume is softcore smut with dudes.
Probably.
Sissy's played by Renee Jones, who would go on to play a 30-year role on 1,700 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Wow.
Soap operas are wild.
Damn.
Sissy hears a noise, gets too close to the window, and is
Uh-oh.
pulled outside by Jason, leaving her slipped slippers behind. Originally, this was all we saw of Sissy's death, until later when her decapitated head was discovered. During those reshoots for the 3 additional kills, they also shot this scene where Jason kills Sissy by twisting her head around. Hell
It's
yeah!
so
Damn,
badass!
man, you twisted that thing right off. As seen shortly thereafter by a little girl camper who definitely just pissed herself.
Oh, poor
that little
girl.
girl is named Nancy, but not in reference to Nancy Thompson. McLaughlin said he named the character after his wonderful wife.
Sweet, innocent child who believes that if you're good, God's going to protect you.
That's why
Aw,
later,
that's
when
sweet.
Jason wanders into a cabin full of kid campers, Nancy reacts to his presence by praying for her safety. Don't worry though, little girl. Jason may stare menacingly, but he's not really the kid-killing type. Unlike Michael Myers, that evil bastard.
Yeah,
and
that son of a
obviously very
bitch.
much unlike Freddy Krueger. The last living counselor is Paula, younger sister of Lizbeth, who Jason killed earlier. Well, like sister, and ain't no one gonna be left to miss her. 'Cause now that Jason knows, he ain't never gonna let Paula go. Sister. Megan's alone at the police station. when
I was
Tommy
wondering
calls
what he
her
was doing
to
in that
defeat
reference.
Jason. She goes to pick him up, and when he tries to take her car, she tells him she's here to help, not serve, motherfucker.
Let's get going. We can argue about it on the way. You tell me what you need and I'll see to it that you get it.
Megan.
Besides, nobody drives this puppy but me.
She drives past a visual joke that doesn't really work for me until she hits a police roadblock, but Megan ain't about to let that stop her. Get down there, Tommy.
Oh,
and
damn.
Enjoy the view. It's stunt driving time to
Hello.
Alice Cooper's Hard Rock Summer. Hell yeah. I do find the gag with Tommy's head down there hilarious.
That's what I want.
She means the sign for Camp Teej. Get your head
Yeah,
out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Megan's dope driving skills are finally bested by her father, who puts up one last roadblock and points a gun right at her face.
Megan, step out of the car.
Shit.
Back at the station, Sheriff Garris gets a call about Cord and Nikki's deaths. Though Megan says Tommy couldn't have done it because he was with her the whole time, the sheriff sticks to his Tommy's the killer theory and has him locked up while he leaves to do sheriff stuff. Tommy and Megan are watched over by Deputy Rick Cologne, a silly man with a mail-order laser scope he's awfully proud of.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
He's played by Vincent Guastafaro, who would reprise the role 34 years later in Vincent DeSantis' Never Hike in the Snow, which also features Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. Megan writes out a plan for Tommy to follow that involves making out between the cell jail bars. Ooh,
Bow
Megan
chicka
likes
bow
it.
wow.
Deputy Rick does not.
Hey!
The plan works, and Megan steals the deputy's gun, giving us the most betrayed-sounding line delivery I've ever heard before.
Megan.
Wow, that is just sad. Tommy makes things worse by using Rick's own words against him.
Wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
And then they lock him in his own jail cell. All in all, pretty subpar day at work for Deputy Rick Cologne. Megan reluctantly allows Tommy to drive her car as they head towards Crystal Lake to stop Jason once and for all.
The only way now to stop Jason is to return to his original resting place, where he drowned in 1957.
Already at the camp is Sheriff Garris and 2 of his cops, whom he tells to spread out and look for anything funny. Anything funny like what, Sheriff? Like blood everywhere? Now,
Lots
I
of
know,
it.
not usually funny, but the shots of it on the popcorn and sissy slippers, you know, that's kind of funny. Jason comes out of the woods to kill Officer Thornton with a dart to the head. Damn, dude, that had to have been a nat 20 dex roll. The other cop, Officer Pappas, first runs into a scared-as-hell Nancy before Jason emerges and eats his bullets like they were tasty bits of bloody popcorn. Pappas is killed with one of my favorite style Jason kills, a hands-only head crush. Always makes a splash for me. Garris runs into Nancy and takes care of her, then leads all the campers into a single bunk. His care for these kids is another thing that makes me like him, and their care for their pets and dollies makes me like them too.
Yes.
And of course, these campers have the line that I literally named this channel after. Like, it came from these lines.
What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
I don't normally like precocious, smart-aleck kids, but these two are funny.
What were you
Agreed.
going to be when you grew up?
As always, I blame or credit a film's director for its kid performances.
Tom spent more time shooting the kids and working on their performances in a lot of ways than he did on the kills that were going on in the movie.
Quite a contrast to what Part 5's director focused on. By the way, the kid on the right is played by Justin Noel, who would later play a horny adolescent in Sleepaway Camp 2. Garris stumbles upon his dead officer and then runs right into Jason. Dude shoots at the monster until his whole dang rifle is empty, then switches to his sidearm to keep the pressure up. But not even a well-aimed headshot can stop Jason for good.
Nice shot.
And J-Man chases Garris into the woods. As mentioned, Jason was mostly played by CJ Graham in this film, a 6'3", 250-pound Marine
Big dude.
everyone on set loved.
He never, ever once said anything other than, you know, thank you or yes, sir.
Dude lent his
sweet.
RV to the crew so they could sleep in it and was frequently described as a gentle giant.
We had to do a lot of acting because he just wasn't that scary in person.
Though he had no acting experience, his Marine training lent him a machine-like quality. His performance is full of tiny, specific movements that make this Jason scary despite the funny movie happening around him. Tommy and Megan get back to camp, and as Tommy sets up his plan at the dock, Megan starts screaming for her dad. Jason hears this and turns his attention that-a-ways, spurring Sheriff Garris to interfere in an effort to save his daughter.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm a pretty big fan of this guy. Definitely the best asshole cop character I've ever seen. I'm actually pretty sad when he's quickly killed by Jason, folding him in half against the ground. For this kill, they dug a hole that went up to actor David Kagan's waist. Another performer played Sheriff Garris's legs by lying face down in the hole, and all Kagan had to do was lie down on his back. The rest was all sound effects.
Well done.
Tommy chains up a boulder and takes a boat out into the lake, while Jason has a hard time deciding if he wants to bust his body through a door to get in or bust his body through a wall to get out. Decisions. He's ready to squeeze the brains and beauty out of Megan's head when Tommy taunts him towards the lake with an increasingly explicit string of insults.
Come on, maggot head. Come on, chicken shit. Come on, you pussy.
Since Jason
What
has
a
the mental
badass.
personality of a child, these schoolyard taunts work and he swims ever closer to Tommy Jarvis. He disappears beneath the surface and Tommy starts filling the lake with gas. I wonder if we'll ever have electric-powered lakes. Tough to beat the big bubbles the gas guzzlers give, you know? Jason pops up like an overgrown swampy boy and fights with Tommy in the middle of a lake of fire.
Bit of a callback to the earlier films.
And not a metaphorical one, like in that song Nirvana covered. A literal one, like friggin' Lake Erie in '69. Tommy gets the chain around Jason's neck, but J-Man does a flaming body splash to break the boat apart.
Ooh.
Anchored by a boulder, Jason's on his way to Drownsville, but he might as well have some company, so he invites Tommy to stay with him by grabbing him with those dumb yellow gloves he wears in this movie. Jason damn near kills the lad before Megan leaps in to save her lover boy. Jason extends his underwater hang zone invitation to her too, but Megan's all like, nah, I'm good on that one. I would also decline to join him because it sounds like it was scary to film. CJ Graham was actually anchored and chained 20 feet underwater.
I was at the mercy of the safety divers. If I needed air, I would signal, give a hand signal, the divers would swim in. They'd lift my mask and put a regulator right in my mouth.
Graham said he trusted the stunt team led by Michael Nomad though, and it probably helped that the underwater shots were filmed in a temperature-controlled pool at USC. Everything above the water surface was filmed in a very cold lake in Georgia. To fend off the persistent goalie, Megan starts the onboard motor and
this is
cuts
so
into
brutal.
Jason's throat. It's a
So
nasty
good.
affair full of body twitching and gory flotsam. In fact, since the blood and guts would have ruined USC's swimming pool, McLaughlin had to film these final shots in his parents' pool in Culver City. Jason relinquishes his hold on Megan, and he's left at the bottom of the lake as she and TJ get to shore. She brings him back to life, and he expresses relief that things are finally over. Even though, like, come on, Tommy, you know what franchise you're in by now. The original ending in McLaughlin's script went back to the cemetery after this. It revealed that Jason's father, Elias Voorhees, had been paying Martin to take care of Jason's and Pamela's graves. But Frank Mancuso vetoed this ending, I think for a good reason. He figured sequels would then have to address the father figure, and he didn't want to deal with all that. Instead, the movie ends with a shot of Jason floating in the lake. It reminds me of that Jason statue built by Doug Klein that he put in a Minnesota diving spot. Is that thing still there?
That's
I really
so
want
cool.
to see it. Oh, speaking of seeing, the last shot is of Jason opening his eye. Of course. How many bodies did we wind up with when Jason lived to kill again? Let's find out.
All right.
Get to the numbers! Oh,
Oh,
man!
ow!
I wasn't even armed or anything.
That had to hurt.
That is some bullshit if I have ever seen it before. Bullshit!
Yep, I agree.
There were 18 kills in Friday 6 Jason Lives. Not a record, but more dead bodies than the first 4. The victims were 12 guys and only 6 ladies, giving us a 2-to-1 ratio of dudes. With a runtime of 97 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.39 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Sheriff Garris.
Oh,
the
no,
triple
okay.
decap and Sissy's gnarly head twist, but Garris goes out fighting.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Sissy with the, yeah, because that looked really cool.
Daughter like a G and gets a sickening backwards body bend. I can't help.
This is also good.
Dole Machete for lamest kill will go to Steven and Annette. Though it's a twofer, it's not that creative or bloody, just an obvious stat padding double kill. And that's it. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, came out in 1986, a creative high point for the series thanks to Tom McLaughlin.
When I look back and think how much we did do with that amount of money, it was pretty miraculous, but I really give the full credit to it. Just a, great crew, a great team of
What a
people
good guy.
all saying, yeah, let's make this one a little more special.
Though it was well received by fans and even the occasional critic, it performed poorly at the box office. This was the first Friday the 13th that didn't open at #1, and it earned the lowest gross of any Friday up to that point. This was likely because people were disappointed in Part 5, and also because they had a new horror series in town.
Oh,
Nightmare on
yeah.
Elm Street. A failed crossover with Freddy Krueger would lead to the next Friday, The New Blood. I'll tell you all about it next week.
Okay.
Till then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
Hi, James.
Next Kill Count.
When a series gets 7 movies deep, you've got to add some new blood to keep things interesting, especially if that new blood is a telekinetic teenager.
Ah!
Even if the rest of the movie's the same old thing, people might not notice because of the telekinetic teenager.
Ah!
Oh, and please don't call her Carrie White, mostly for legal reasons.
Sure.
Tina Shepard is a totally unrelated, completely original telekinetic teenager.
Ah!
Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, is the series retreating to its comfort zone.
I don't think this is such a good idea.
A bunch of horny teens party on Crystal Lake.
Why don't we crawl in the sack?
Jason kills them one by one. And everybody runs around in the woods.
No way.
No,
Yep.
seriously, this movie is at least 50% people running around in the woods.
Oh, boy.
Just look at this.
Oh, boy.
Hey, at least Terry Kaiser's here.
Hi.
Ready
Hi,
for his
Terry.
weekend with Jason. And speaking of which, we get our first taste of Kane Hodder as the J-Man, who fits the part like a custom-made sleeping bag.
Oh!
And, I could have sworn there was at least one more interesting thing about this movie.
Everybody? Tina.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Tina!
There's a telekinetic teenager!
Ah!
This week, watch Jason vs. Carrie.
You're lying to me.
I mean, Tina Shepard.
Yeah, Tina!
Friday the 13th,
Not Carrie,
Part
at all.
7, The New Blood. Then tune in on Friday for the Kill Count recount only on Dead Meat.
You need a formal invitation?
Friday the 13th.
I mean,
Part
I think we
7,
just
The
got
New
one
Blood.
there. Yeah, so it's kind of sad that this movie was just so great. Like, everything about it was so good, and then it just sort of dips down after that with the next one. Yeah, just everything about this was great. Wonderful character development. The kills were pretty sweet, and you had a fairly satisfying ending that kept the door open for possible sequels in the future. I was really sad though to see that the movie didn't perform very well, considering it is like the best one in the series. Oh well, we'll have to see more about how this series continues with the next one, so that will do it for me here. But before I go, though, I would like to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Marvin Espinoza, Cruising, Wolver310, Kester, Cronage, Amber K, Minnie Melt, Kelsey, Lauren Davenport, and Rocco Lochisano. Thank you guys so very much. You guys are awesome. And if you too like to have your name read at the end of each and every one of my videos, plus many other fun goodies, including maybe reacting to an old kill count that you want to see me react to, please head on over to patreon.com/ddamnreactor. The link will be right there and in the description. And with that being said, comment down below. Let me know which Friday the 13th movie was your favorite. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also want to see past reactions I've done to other Dead Meat videos. Got a nice playlist right over there full of them for you. Share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Ring notification bell because I put up new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.